G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to War Thunder and to the 1.67 dev server. Let's jump straight into it. We're going to take a look at tanks this time round, and this is the Type 87. It's a self-propelled anti-aircraft vehicle, and it has, it has guns, 35mm guns to be precise. It is nothing short of spectacular, as it looks like the Jeopard and the other self-propelled anti-air that is already in tree. The armour on this particular vehicle is the same like any self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. It is very light and thinly armoured, 20 on the sides, 20 on the actually no, it's 30 mils on the front, 20 on the sides and 20 on the rear. So pretty much stock standard there. As for crew positions, it has 3 crew, 1 in the hull and 2 in the turret. Plenty of room, I do say. Anyway, let's look at the next Japanese tank that they have got, the Type 60 ATM, which sounds like a money-grabbing machine. This is based off the M113 American Armoured Personnel Carrier. It's got a 50 cal on the top, and basically they've utilised this for an anti-tank guided missile platform. As you can see by the massive doors at the back, yep, that's definitely an Armoured Personnel Carrier. Similar armament to most ATGMs, it's got 20 mils at the front, 20 mils at the back. On the sides it's 12.7s. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, but this thing has an interesting crew placement. See the 3 crew in the front and the 2 crew in the rear. This is a self-propelled gun that is prominently featured in World of Tanks. This is the SU-5-1. It has a 76.2 or 76.2mm gun, and that's pretty much all there is to say about it. It's based off the T26 chassis. It's not particularly well armoured, 7 mils there, 15 there. The gun shield's 15. The strongest part about this tank is the fact that it has a gun there. All the crew are mounted on the back, as you can see, the only lucky one being the driver that sits inside the hull there. Nothing too special. If you shoot a machine gun at this tank, it will, you'll wipe out most of the crew on the side there. So yeah, an interesting tier 1 tank destroyer to fill that void that Russia didn't have. Anyway, let's have a look at the next thing, which is the 29K. And I wish that was my subscriber number, but at the moment that is going to change. This is the Russian equivalent of the flak bus, a slightly less armoured and more mobile counterpart to what the Germans have in their tree. It's not a particularly armoured vehicle, as it only has light structural steel, but it has an interesting crew placement, as we see here. It's got quite a number of crew members, commander, driver, loaders, and that guy on the back looks like he's having a beer. He's taking a sickie, and it is time for him to leave. Yeah, an interesting vehicle overall. I can't wait to get my hands on this. Next up we have Germany. This is the Sturmpanzer II, also a self-propelled gun to come out of World of Tanks. Again, a self-propelled artillery piece that could be transported by rail, and it has an 150mm gun. This thing will be also comparable to the Ho-Ro, and yeah, I have test driven it a couple of times. It is very interesting. It's currently got a barrel rating of 2.3, and it is quite mobile. So again, like the Ho-Ro, it is the German counterpart of such a tank. This tank is going to be absolute fun to play. So the next German vehicle is possibly the fastest tank in the game. It can travel 80 kilometers an hour. It has 30 mils at the front there, 26 on the hull cheek and the hull sides. It's got about 20 mils and 12.7, 8mm on the side there and 20 mils on the side there. It is particularly nimble and fast. It has a 90mm gun and will sit at a battle rating of 6.7. However, it is a premium tank and it will cost you 7,000 something golden eagles. It has 4 crew members, 3 in the turret, 1 in the hull, and if you really want to kill this thing, you aim directly at this ammo here and you will blow it up. Yeah, I will probably do a feature review on this at some other point, but that's all that Germany have for now. This is the Centurion Mark I. Now, it's not actually too different from the later version of the Centurion, as the only real major difference is with the turret itself. It houses the same 17-pounder that you find in the Black Prince. There's not really much to say about it. It has a coaxial machine gun also in the turret, and it is generally a Centurion. Again, I'm not up to the Centurions yet in ground forces because I'm only currently at tier 3 in the Brits. But yeah, let's have a look at its armor layout. So, from what I am seeing here, nothing out of the ordinary. It has typical Centurion hull. However, the turret is quite thick. It's got 152mm on the cast hull itself. The actual gun mantle itself, you know, it's thick enough to do the job. It will deflect a shot. The internal crew layout for this thing as well, quite interesting. 1 driver and 3 in the turrets. If you knock everything out in the turret and aim for the turret, that'll kill it, or alternately you can shoot it straight through the front and ammo rack the thing. A very interesting tank indeed. I know I'm going fast, but bear with me, I'm on a time limit here. This is the FV4005. It is a giant T-crumpet toasting machine with an 185mm gun. Again, you can see the stats on screen there. I'm not going to read those out. Again, later you'll find that out. It's based off the Centurion hull, and well, its armor should be feasibly the same, considering that. This is the M8, or in Australia, as we call it, the Mate. It is a light reconnaissance vehicle with a howitzer. It's got a 50 cal on top, and is generally disappointing because the rare event vehicle that you could win about a year ago, this is basically replacing that vehicle, except that you will still be able to keep your special M8, what do they call it? I don't know, whatever. It does not matter. Light tank armor here, 28mm, yeah, 20mm, 28. Again, it goes fast. You aim your howitzer at something, it goes boom. Lots of armor shielding around this thing, I can tell you that much. As for the X-ray, it's a standard 4 crew. It has a 75mm howitzer in it. If you really want to kill this thing, try shooting just below the turret here near the ammunition, and you'll most likely detonate the whole entire crew. Detonate the whole entire tank. If not, you can shoot it pretty much anywhere and it will die. This is what you call an overweight American who has eaten himself a Sherman's worth of rations. Now, no offense to those Americans, however, this is in light humor. It is literally a modified Sherman to hold more weight. It's got decent armor characteristics here. The turret armor is decent for battle rating 4.3, and I reckon it will absolutely seal club once it gets into match. However, the gun handling itself may be a little bit different. Let's take a look at the crew compartment itself. So, the internal crew layout consists of 5 crew members, a driver, aimer, commander, loader, gunner, and somebody else, and their uncle. The engine is a 600... Well, it was a 600 horsepower engine, now it's a 465 horsepower engine. They must have changed that. Regardless, if you want to kill this thing, shoot it in the engine at the back. I don't know if you're really going to pan anywhere else unless you've got something like an 88 flak bus. Anyway, the next American controversy tank. Welcome aboard the last tank that we're going to take a look at. This is the T-34, also known as, World Gaming's milking teabag, I believe, or coffee machine. One of the two. You can pay for a black version of one of these in World of Tanks 129 Australian dollars, and it's pathetic. Whereas I can go onto War Thunder Live and get a custom skin of black and not have to pay a single cent for it, because this is in the actual tech tree. It's got decent armor all the way around, ranging from 70 mils from lower to 102 above. Size of the turret's actually quite nice. The 72's on the side. I am rushing this because I need to end the video. It's an American tank. There's not really much more to say, although I probably won't make a follow-up video because tanks are not my thing. Anyway, this is just a preview video. Decent turret armor, and this thing has a 120mm gun, and I think that is about it for now. Alright, well, I don't think I have to say any more about this vehicle, let alone any other tank-like vehicle. The next video will probably be a little more quirky mechanics in what 1.67 has to bring. Sorry for the spam of content. Things happen and I wasn't really expecting a dev server opening until next week. So until the next video, I will catch you all next time.